Hello, and welcome back to Wario Land 3. On the last episode, we got the fourth music box for defeating Jimano, a boss with no English name, in the Stagnant Swamp, whose wonderful music, the fourth music box, not Jimano, although he was a pirate captain, so perhaps a good pirate shanty would have done the trick as well, created a whirlpool, allowing us to go beneath the waves. But more importantly, we also got the trusty torch, which allowed Wario to forge a path to the Forest of Fear. A very, very cool and good level I can't wait to play, that we're not doing right now, because we're playing Beneath the Waves instead, baby. We're gonna save that one. So Beneath the Waves is an interesting level. A lot of it's underwater, so it's kind of like maybe the most water level out of all the water levels in the game. So you'll be spending maybe a little bit more time underwater than you will not so, although your time above water will be mostly spent in little caves that act as, I guess, reprieves? Reprieve? I think reprieve is how you actually pronounce that, from the swimming fun that you'll be having. But this level is also a little interesting to me, maybe specifically, just because it has a weird memory attached to it. I remember being stuck in the car, like, all day. I don't know if you were on, like, a family road trip or something. I just remember being stuck in the car all day. I don't remember the context past that, but I remember after being stuck in the car all day, finally, like, getting, like, dinner, like, after, like, having lunch, like, hours and hours ago. Like, I was a kid, so, you know, it probably wasn't that long ago, but it, you know, as a kid, everything feels like it was longer than it actually was. But I just remember being in this weird seafood restaurant that had, like, weird decorations. At least they felt weird to me, because they had like the hood of a car, like, up on a wall, which, now that I think about it, like, is something you would see in restaurants, like, as, like, this weird, like, hey, look how cool we are decoration. Although, if I recall, it was kind of a more, like, aside from that, felt more upscale restaurant, although also I was a kid then. I almost said I am a kid, which, fair, but I was a kid, so perhaps it wasn't as upscale as I thought it was, especially since my parents took me and my sister, who, like, God, when this game came out, like, we couldn't have been that old. Like, my sister would have, both of us probably would have been less than 10, so it probably wasn't that nice of a restaurant. But I remember being very confused about all the fish names, because, like, I live in Texas, so, like, we don't, like, seafood isn't, like, too big of a thing. But I knew I liked fish, so I just ended up giving up and letting my dad order for me, because I was like, you know, I'll like whatever, I'll eat it. Because I was never really too terribly picky as a kid. I just, oh, this is the wrong way, I don't want to go that way. And of course then I fall all the way down, because I got completely distracted by what I was talking about. That was interesting. That was one of those beam robots who, like, slice you in half. You don't see those guys very often. Yeah, but I don't know, this place just really evokes that memory. I remember getting stuck in this room forever, because I couldn't figure out what to do in it, because you gotta make this blind jump to be able to roll into here and get to the gray chest. Like, at this point, you've done the, not the Colossal Hole, the Stagnant Swamp level, where you gotta do the same thing with the zip lines and roll down, and you also do the same thing in the Town of Chaos. Town in Chaos, I always do this. So you've seen it before, but it's just kind of, you have to make a blind jump to it. So, especially if you're a wee child who's distracted by being very hungry and also being yelled at by your parents to turn off your Game Boy because A, you're in a restaurant, and B, it's very dim. And I either didn't have my thing, the worm light, or I was getting yelled at regardless because that worm light didn't light it up all that well. But hey, that's enough of that level. What we do have now is a dangerous detonator, which may be a dangerous thing to play around with, but Wario, he doesn't care. He's gonna have a blast with it! A Wario blast. And, what the dangerous detonator does is blows up bombs that were present in the levels, which, now that I think about, we hadn't seen any of them, which is kind of a failing on my part to present things. Whoops, my bad. Whenever you know what, as compensation, I'm gonna do some editing, and whenever we get to the things where the bombs would be on the level, I'll show it on screen what the bomb would look like were you to come earlier and check it out. Thanks to me just kind of playing the levels, like, super efficiently and not exploring and showing things off, which is my bad. And oh, cool, we can actually reach... Oh, yeah, we have the jump boots. It doesn't matter if the owl's awake or not. We can just jump up to the owl. I wasn't sure if the owl would wake up, or would stay asleep during the night or not, now that we had the fragment of the sun. which is very useful because I wanted to show off that area where we get the green key during the night. So we'll be actually getting to see... Oh, yeah, I didn't even think about that. We're going to have to explore things for coins again. We get to see Mr. Moon and Senor Sun more times than we could ever want to. Huh, I honestly didn't think about that until now. That's so weird that just somehow my brain did not process the fact that we would, of course, have to go back to those areas again. Huh. It's weird how your brain works sometimes, especially when you're big dum-dum like me, apparently. But we are going to have to do some not nice things here. And when I say that, I'm mostly talking about we're going to have to play some more golf. So I'm going to go ahead and get the golf out of the way. Because if you remember, there was a coin in the red chest area, which is what we need to play golf for. So it's time to do some golf. And this time I'm not going to get knocked off the thing. So the price of golf has gone up to 50 coins a pop, which answers a question I asked earlier in the series if golf gets more expensive as you go through the game. Because I wasn't sure if they would do it on a per level basis, like, oh, in this level golf costs 30 coins, and then this level it costs, 50. But it's nice to know. And actually, do these owls have different colors? Yeah, they have different colors. I'm gonna grab onto this one to see. Yeah, the owl's color scheme changes when Wario grabs onto it, which makes sense. It changes from that lighter yellow to like the orange that they use for like Wario's skin. But it's interesting because it still has like, I'm trying to count the colors on the thing. Like, what does Wario have that? Because Wario's comprised of 3 colors, whereas the owl has a 4th color. That's kind of weird, actually, now I think about it. Like, why doesn't Wario have a 4th color? Is it just to make Wario pop out against backgrounds with, like, his all-white, like, clothing? Like, I always thought Wario's clothing in this game was just kind of weird since, this is the same sprite from Wario Land 3, just they made his clothes white instead of yellow. Like, I actually honestly think it looks really, like, good. Like, I don't hate it. I just think it's very strange. Also, if you remember, when we came here during the day, these were there were burrs. I almost called them by their proper name. There were burrs here, but during the night, there are fire robots, which is interesting. It makes this area accomplishable whether it's night or day. So the fact that Senor Sun here is during the day is unconsequential because you can still break these enemy blocks. It's just whenever you first gain access to it, you won't have been able to complete it unless there was the Senor Sun out. Also, the reason why we wanted to come here at night is because we don't have the ability to pick up burrs. So being able to pick up this fire robot and throw it down here was very useful. We don't need the thing. I'll let you live since you helped me out. And there was a spike robot over here, or spear robot, but to my knowledge, it's impossible to get it over there because these blocks right here that we can pass through are like enemy-only walls, and you can't throw the enemy through there. They won't walk through the horizontal one, or the vertical one, I should say. Like if you were to throw a spear robot up here, it would just walk back and forth. It wouldn't be able to get past this. So to my knowledge, it's impossible to get the spear robot past that. I have seen somebody say otherwise. Perhaps like one of these is a like disguised throwable block you could throw it against, or maybe you could somehow finagle it where if you threw it just right, it would pass through there. I'm not 100% sure. But just to forego the trouble, I just decided to come here at night, and we should have 3 coins, right? Okay, cool. We're going to have to explore a lot of this level to get most of the coins, because I think there's only going to be 2 in the area we're heading towards, and I probably should be crouching to get into areas. We're going to have to probably do a little bit of exploring as Flat Wario. We don't need to go back there, because there's just a coin, or just a, not a coin, a key back there. We have no need for keys. What we do have a need for is the ability to roll. We're going to be doing some rolling to explore a lot of the area. This will be kind of fun, because the Colossal Hole is an interesting area with kind of having to figure out how things work. We're traveling at the same speed as the grab robot, so we're just keeping it on screen. That was actually really awesome. But this would be a little weird to explore this area, just because I don't have this place perfectly mapped out in my head, so I'm not 100% sure how we're going to be getting it everywhere. We do need to break blocks and do rolling and glide across, but I think all of the coins we need, aside from the 2 in the area we're going to be going to, are going to be in this bottom half of the screen, so I'm just going to slip down there for now. Because we do need to find a place to roll in, so I might as well just go all the way down. Oops, I missed that one, but that's fine, because we wouldn't have been able to get in there either. I do need to get in. Oh, okay. Well, I've just messed like everything up. That's a shame. Oh, actually, if I can get one of those guys to sting me, I might be able to get in that area and roll through. I thought we had to come from a different area. Yeah, like I'm gonna apologize. Like I don't have this area mapped out in my head like super well. I have an idea of where all the coins are, which is helpful since like actually I'm gonna go ahead and pop myself here because I don't think I'd be able to get the horizontal leeway to get over here. Because if we're gonna track this Numo over here, we can just float on through this, and then yeah, this will give us the incline we need to roll on through. I think there'll be more areas we'll need to roll through to. Oh, that was a very sneaky like shot. Like that was. Like, I did not know you could get stung out of that. I guess that makes sense. Like, most of your, when you're rolling, you're mostly invincible. Like, most things won't be able to bother you. But turns out Numos can interrupt your rolling animation. That's neat. Oh, and that's actually, like, a prime spot to do the rolling glitch if we so desired. So this was our 4th coin, right? Yeah, cool. We have 4 more coins. There's going to be 2 in the area we need to go to. So where are the other coins? There's 1... above us, and then there's one in the minigame area. Okay, so cool. So both of them are off to our right. So let's do a little reconnaissance here. We'll need to float down into here. We could also potentially crouch jump, but I think floating might be our best bet, and we need to roll on through here. So we're going to need an incline that's a little bit higher. I don't think there's an incline any higher than this. There's no incline over here. So how are we supposed to get through that area? Because there was, 2, stupid, what are those things called? There was a block in our way that we'd only be able to get through when we were, rolling. Oh, you know what it probably is? It's probably that area right there. If we can get into that, I bet there's an incline somewhere in there. In fact, let's do a little reconnaissance as we climb by it. Yeah, there's our incline that we want. So I'm gonna become Flat Wario and see if I can just pop myself in there. This can end up being a pain since, like, if you miss it a bunch, you'll have to go up and down. And going up and down sucks because, oh wait, there's actually a grab bot on the right. It takes a while to, you know, make the entire trip, back and forth. For a second, I was thinking that there was only a grab bot on the right and not the left of the bottom of the hole, which would make this a huge pain to constantly have to go through. And I'm gonna have to be a little bit careful with how I do this, because we want to get through the hole immediately under this one, I believe. So, oh, there we go, cool. For a second I thought I was going to miss it again, which would have been a shame, and this is the right one, right? Okay, cool. For a second I thought I opened up the wrong area. You can open up these little shortcuts, but they're only shortcuts out. Like, if I was to crawl out, I don't think we can pop into it, because you can't go into a duck from the thing. So they're not the best. Perhaps if you went to the top, you could, like, float on down, and, oh, damn it, I messed up that jump. I messed that up so bad, but now that we have that shortcut open, maybe we can use it? I don't think that shortcut's in an area that's usable to us is the problem. It's worth a shot, though, because at the very least, like, if we mess it up, like, you know, we can just float on down again, because I don't think we opened up any easier way. Oh, no, because we opened up the stupid thing. You know, the stupid thing that I opened up? Oh yeah, we can't fall down duck. So I was thinking, oh, we would just fall down while crouching, but being on the ladder kind of overtakes the crouching. So, damn, those shortcuts are one-way shortcuts. That super sucks. I kind of wish they put little breaks in the ladder to allow you to get into those little things. That'd be very, very convenient. I don't know if perhaps that breaks any of the level design, but it'd be very nice, because this is taking a while. Like, honestly, I should probably be doing some editing, baby, but I guess I'm not. Oh, that's what we wanted to get into. I wanted to get into that stupid little thing. We didn't need to do the floating. I could have just fallen down in there, but that's fine, because I didn't mess it up, so it didn't cost any of us any time. So now that I know that, we can just repeat this easier than it did, than it took me previously. Unfortunately, though, we are going to have to continuously make our way back and forth, so perhaps I will do a little bit of editing. So now that we've made this shortcut, we are just able to just crouch down in here and not have to worry about doing the floating arrangement again. And there we go. The second, you need to jump to the first platform and then just not jump again, and then you'll be good. And let's see if we can just fall straight into... Oh, man, I started pushing the wrong way on the D-pad, and that screwed everything up. That's such a shame. That would have been so slick if that just worked out. That'll be fine, because I think if we'll give that another try. See if I not mess up on the D-pad. Oop, and that was almost bad. Because if I had just held right on the D-pad, but my finger kind of slipped, and the D-pad on this controller is like one of those like all put together instead of like split D-pad, like where the buttons are separately, are separate, I should say. It's one of those circular ones that I think about as opposed to like kind of like a standard plus shape. And oh, this isn't going the way I thought it would. I thought we would hit something on the ceiling, but I guess we didn't. So we'll go ahead and just grab this coin. I was planning just to come and pick this up with an owl at some point, but hey, it all works out, I suppose. And we get to see the night sky at the top of the level, which is nice because I don't believe we've ever come to the top of that level. So that was kind of nice to see. And let's see if I can do this properly. I'm going to hold... There we go, cool. I just had to hold right on the D-pad and not slip up at all. And we were able to make it in just fine. No problems whatsoever. Aside from the fact that I failed that twice? Did I fail that twice or did I fail that once? I don't know. This hasn't been going well. Ooh, I probably should have come and done this one first, because this is one that you could potentially mess up, because you gotta make like a little, you gotta make a little staircase, and I hit the wrong button, because if you do this wrong, then you're going to screw yourself out of being able to jump for the coin, but it all worked out. I was getting paranoid because we did have the potential to mess it up, but it all worked out in the end, so who even cares? And I guess we'll just go to the bottom of here, get stung, and then float up to the top. I was planning on taking an owl to the top, just because owls aren't a thing that you see very often in this game. This is honestly the only level I can remember that they're even in off the top of my head. I would assume that they could potentially be in the Forest of Fear, but I don't think that they are, actually. This may be the only level the owl is actually in, which is a shame, because I'm a big fan of the owl. Like, it got some love in Wario Land 2, and there isn't, like, a terrible amount that I guess you can do with them that we didn't see in Wario Land 2. So it's nice that I guess they brought them back for, like, you know, just a quick level gimmick. But yeah, I would have liked to see him, like, maybe in just one more level, just for, you know, the sake of seeing the owl again, especially since, you know, the programming exists in the game. In this area over here, which for some reason my brain didn't process this quickly enough, is actually where the bomb that we could have seen earlier would have been. There would have been a bomb, like, right here, and it would have detonated. You guys are seeing it on screen right now, so I don't actually have to, I guess, explain it, but I did anyways. But this is also the area we wanted to get to. The bomb, like, dropped down a platform for us to use, allowing us to come to this room filled with snakes, which is kind of a fun room, and I'm glad this room exists, just because, like, they made the snakes, and then, like, you know, they're in, like, 3 levels as, like, a thing you have to use as to, like, progress through the to, like, progress, like, kind of like a lock and key, like, oh, here's a platform that you couldn't have access to before. And the chest is just over there, but I don't want the chest just yet. I want to find a coin, because I know that there's a coin in this room somewhere, and I believe it's off to the left. Maybe it's off to the right. Let's do just a little bit of exploration of the room, I guess. Like, Ryder snake buddies, and we just need to be careful, because if the snakes light us on fire, that could just be a little unfortunate. So I'm going to wait for this snake to calm down. Oh, actually, if you ground pound on them, they calm down as well. That's nice. I didn't actually know that. It's nice. Just, you know, if you want the snake to stop, just ground pound them. Unfortunately, we can't stop snakes that we are not on top of. So that guy that was above us, we were going to have to wait for him regardless. Oh, and we had to come here to get the key anyway, so I guess it all works out in the end since we, had to come here anyway. So let's jump on top of him before he lights us on fire. Can we just super jump up there? No. We can, yeah, we can't super jump up there if we just hop on top of his head first, but there is a coin somewhere in this room. I know there is. I know it's off to the left. I just don't know how we're supposed to get it, actually, because I don't think we could get an owl in this room, since we have to go through a door to get in here. So we won't be able to bring any anything through, like, the screen transition, and we don't want the... Ooh, we're gonna have to... Okay, ooh, that could have gone badly, because if had I jumped into the chest, it would have ended the level with us having 7 coins, and then had to, like, you know, repeat, like, playing for this level to get the coins. I mean, at that point, I could go to whatever treasure chest I so desired. But since you don't have... Just walking into the chest ends the level. That could have gone bad. Like, I realized that, you know, I would have had to really slip up, but I wouldn't put it past myself to really slip up. And, oh my god, we are so far into the episode, and that was only our 2nd treasure, and I have 2 more levels planned for this. Holy crap, this is going to be a long one. So here's our luxurious locomotive. Surely the treasure name that was there, and not, like, just train or something. So, oh boy, we gotta get a move on, because we're only halfway through this episode, and we got more level to do. But it's time to go to the Stagnant Swamp in the daytime, which is something we haven't seen previously. It's time to find all those ding-dang coins. I believe there is a coin somewhere on the zipline path. So we'll just go ahead and start exploring the zipline path. I don't want to fall down the zipline, because if you remember, the last zipline will cause us to roll, which we need to do. Yeah, we just need to not do that. To come over here and get this coin, and everything will be good in the hood. And this is a nice little thing, because you can smash through this and come over here, and this is actually where we'll be coming for the coin, or not the coin, there are coins past there, but for the level that we're going to be playing today, it's back there. And oh, there was another coin on the zipline path. I completely forgot. Let's go ahead and start ziplining again. That one shouldn't be too hard to get to. But yes, that area that we unlocked that has a nice little tell that you can tell it's back there because you can see cracked blocks just beyond it. Is the area we're going to be going to. There's nothing beyond there other than coins and blue chest stuff. So there's no point in going back there earlier, which is why we never saw the bomb in this level, or the bombs in this level, which I suppose we'll be doing another chance to edit a little bit and show you guys what it looked like had we come there previously. And let's go ahead and just grab this and call it a day. And let's go ahead and, how many? We have 2. I don't know, I needed to check for 2, because there should be one back here, this being the area where Muddy, the weird lizard of some sort boss, this would be the area that you would fall to if you failed the boss, if you fell in the water and got swept away all the way back. There's a coin hidden back there as well, and now we need to go back to the mouse area, or, excuse me, the mole. I once again forgot, even though, like, it was literally that last episode? I think it was last episode, where I not remembered, but realized it was a mole, and ooh, the mole can actually break blocks. That's kind of interesting. I wouldn't have expected that. And we actually might be able to smash through those pink blocks with our head, or I guess all blocks are pink, but like the cracked blocks. We might be able to smash through them just with our stupid face. Our stupid face might be all we need to get through those blocks. Like, we could just climb up and smash them, but I'm not 100% sure, and we need to come over here to get the coins anyway, so who cares? It's not like the mole chasing us is that hard of a punishment, especially since we are just gonna, you know, cut off the mole halfway through, and then, like, not have to even worry about being chased for the rest of this way. Especially even, like, being chased by the mole isn't that big of a deal now that we have Great Garlic, because we don't have to deal with being recoiled at all. What we do have to worry about is those spear robots, because they got us at the right angle. They could hit us, stun us like that, and knock us back down, and that'd be a pain. And I don't know if we ever actually saw where this door went, because it's kind of a fun door. You go through it, and then it drops you off in an impossible place. Just a little shortcut back, and we should have like 6 coins now. Yeah, cool, 6 coins. We're good to go to the new area, which is fun, because this is an area that I think you're able to get to from like the beginning. You might need Great Garlic to smash through those beginning parts. I'm not 100% sure. But here we are in the new area, and this part is where the bombs would be that we could have exploded. Or, well, I mean, we did explode them, but it's where the bombs would be before you get the thing. And where else is there a coin? I think the other coin is kind of an interesting area. That one you could screw yourself out of getting if you deal with these blocks in the wrong way. So you just want to be a little bit careful with these blocks so you can come up here and get them. There are pneumos in here, but I'm not sure if the pneumos are set up in such a way that you would be able to get over there easily. Also, we can come over here and see our last coin, and I just had to check. Oh, I don't think I mentioned, but this is going to be our last time in the Stagnant Swamp, I suppose. I had completely forgotten because I'd gotten so used to just, you know, I'd always, like, you know, check the map to, or not the map, but the, you know, the status pause screen to make sure. So let's go ahead and just leash this, well, not leash, aggro the stupid Pneumo over here to where we desire him to be, so he can make us Puffy Wario, and we can float up to our last coin of the Stagnant Swamp. We're going to need the Pneumo's help to also pick up the blue key, because it was in an area that we need to be able to float to, and also get to the blue chest, because they're just in areas inaccessible to us. And we'll go ahead and free this Pneumo, because we're going to need its help. What does this lead to? Oh, it's just a shortcut back to the beginning of the area. For some reason you wanted to go to the top, and I guess you killed all the Pneumos. Because the Pneumos won't respawn until you, like, transition the screen. So it's a good thing that they put a shortcut out of here if you just messed up, which I'm sure I've done before. Because Pneumos can be kind of, like, tricky with, like, killing them. Because sometimes if you have to bump them at just the right angle to kill them if you're floating past them. But it happens more often than you would assume it would. But hey, we're basically done with the Stagnant Swamp now. Because once we float up here, the blue chest will be just beyond, okay, for a second I was like, am I going the wrong way? But no, it's just up here. And it's so cute that they put one spike there to try and stop us, like we couldn't just float past it. I mean, it does make it, like, just a tiny, eensy bit harder, I suppose. It could mean that you'd fall back down and have to float all the way back up there, which would be a pain, because that's kind of a long way to float back up. Not as long as, like, the things that we saw in the stagnant, not the stagnant swamp, the colossal hole, but hey, whatever. That's it for the stagnant swamp. We're done with E1. I was, for some reason, going to say E1, the first part of the east, but I suppose that, you know, it's part of the name. But with that, we get the Eye of Gentle Wind, which I guess it's an eye and a tornado? I don't know why I called it the Gentle Wind. A tornado's not all that gentle, but that's apparently what I called the damn thing, so that's what we're going to roll with. And despite the length of this episode, I don't know how much I had to cut out from the thing. We're doing one more, baby, because this is how I planned the thing, and this is also the episode's name, so it'd be a shame if this got deleted out of the episode. Let's go to the Cave of Flames. In the Cave of Flames, we're actually going to be making this trip across the volcano area, having to dodge these birds. Just normal birds, they're not dizzy birds. When you come over here, we find a pipe, and as you can probably guess, this is where the bomb was. So once you blow up the bomb, you can come here and get access to this pipe to explore a brand new area, and I believe this is the green for it. Yeah, this is totally the green. I was like, there's no way this is the blue yet. And this is an interesting area, because it makes use of the Mad Scienstein Invisible Wario transformation. I think this is just a transformation you don't see all too often. Like, up until this point, we've used it, like, what, twice? And I know we're going to need to use it here, because, you know, one, he's there, and two, I just know, man. But we're going to have to mess around, because also we just saw fire blocks, so we're going to have to be careful about whenever we decide to light ourselves on fire, which I suppose we now. Why the hell not? We're just going to need to do some platforming to get up there. Which isn't all that bad. Like, you know, it's pretty easy to get back up there. The hard part is going to be to time it out properly, that we light ourselves on fire while we're up there. So I'm going to be doing a lot of jumping. Cool. That worked out beautifully. I was like, I'm going to do a lot of jumping and make sure that I light myself on fire when we get over there. I don't know if we'll need to do any more transforming other than Invisible Wario past here, but I do know we're going to potentially need... I do know we're going to need Invisible Wario at some point past here. I just don't know when. And it's also a good thing that didn't knock me out of my my invisibility, because that would have been a pain. Oh man, that fish is jumping. Like, typically you can see the fish in the water, but they're jumping out of fire now, A, and B, they're jumping from just off screen. So I'm actually just going to take this slowly. Yeah, because if I take it slowly, then I can just react to them as opposed to having to worry about what they're doing. And there we go. Cool. Is that all that's past here? Oh, nope. I guess we're not invisible anymore, so hopefully we don't need to be invisible anymore. Let's go ahead and just stun the bear before we deal with him. Oh, this is interesting. We're going to have to roll and do a jump over the fire. That's going to be really cool. Let's go ahead and get out of the fire. Oh, actually, being in the fire would have been actually pretty decent, because we'd keep bouncing up against the wall, so we'd be... Well, actually, I was going to say that'd make us run as fast as we can. It probably is the fastest way we could run, since there's an incline here, which slows us down just a little bit. And since you, when you stop being Hot Wario, you have a bit of invincibility frames, you can just get out of the fire before you get caught on fire again. So there you go, the green chest of the Cave of Flames. Conveniently not very long, because my recording is now 30 minutes long, and that would be very bad for episode length. But with that, we get the Fujin sack. I hope Fujin is the way you pronounce that. I'm pretty sure that was also just the name that it was called on the Wario Wiki. And oh boy, that background is super pixelated. But when you combine the Eye of Gentle Wind and the Fujin sack, you get air! Who would have guessed that Fujin and a tornado eye would do something? But what it does is it knocks leaves off the tree. It wasn't a very strong wind. Like I said, it was the Eye of Gentle Wind. And it knocked down some leaves in Out of the Woods, a level we haven't seen in a while. Out of the Woods is such an interesting level, because it's level 1, but you go to it, like, so infrequently throughout the game, like... Just, like, because this is going to be our green chest there. Like, we haven't visited there in quite a while. It's such a neat first level. I really like Out of the Woods. But that's it for this episode. On the next episode, get out of the woods! And by that I mean we'll be going into the woods, only to get out of it eventually.